All right, everybody, welcome to Ninja Lounge. Today we have Master Key Finance. I've actually been in their group for a while, so I'm excited to be hosting this one. We have Jay, who is the CEO owner, one of the owners of MKF. And just a quick message to anybody in the community. You can type questions into the chat. Towards the end, we will have a period where you can ask questions on VC. But if you're a shy type or you don't feel like discussing things publicly, then you can go to the anonymous question bot in our chat and we'll read out the questions for you. So Jay, welcome. It's good to have you here.
Hey, awesome, man. It's good to finally get on and get everything lined up and our schedules, synced. I'm pretty fired up about this one. I've heard a lot of good things about the Ninja Lounge, so I'm all about it.
Right on. We're absolutely happy to have you here. So maybe we just want to start off with the basics and tell us a little bit about your team and yourself and your experiences in crypto, and then we'll move on to the nitty-gritty stuff.
Absolutely. So, hey, our team is comprised really of about 4 core team members. I mean, we spiderweb out further than that. Fully doxed or anti-dox, so that we've been put through the ringer, if you will. We're all 4 kind of got a commonality, a bond. We're all veterans, right? So I've been in the crypto space personally since about 2017. There's a couple of guys that's been in the space a little bit longer than I have. And really how we got into this realm of where we're at today is just building that bond and that relationship over time, and I kind of identifying gaps in the swing in the crypto space, and what can we bring to the table to make it better, right? So we got about 25 years worth of engineering experience. We got a guy on the team that's been a part of over 100 platforms being launched. Of course, he's my lead dev. And then I got a couple other guys that got some touch points, been a part of several projects, but this is the first one that I've been on a core team of, and I am the CEO of. But I got a strong team, and I think we're going to bring something forward to the DeFi space that's not only needed, but I believe wanted. And then hopefully your listeners are going to be fired up after today's AMA.
Right on. All right. So you said you were KYC with Anonymous. That's a great group. Was that yourself or the entire team?
So myself, well, one thing that I did do is I didn't require my team to dox themselves. So I think me out front and foremost, my lead dev is already doxed. His entire LLC is, and I think that's going to be really good to do that. So his LLC is already doxed, and of course our LLC is also doxed through AnyDocs. I am fully doxed, but I told my team members, I said, hey, I'm not going to require you to. I'm going to leave that on your own cognizance. It's up to you. So I believe they will over time, and it just is not something I'm going to force upon them, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah, that's no problem. Cool. So your LLC is based in the U.S., I would assume?
It is. Out of the state of South Carolina. It is a U.S.-based LLC.
Very cool. So, I've gone through, all of your material quite a bit. I see you guys are heading to market in December, so you got lots of time to plug away before that, I guess.
Man, I wish I could see it that way, but I don't, right? Every day is just fighting, negotiating and trying to get our story out there and getting the right people to find out about. We got something easy to sell if you can get to the audience to actually talk to about it. I mean, the market's got a lot of people shook up and kind of scared right now. But what they don't understand is Master Key was developed in a bear market to produce and perform in a bear market. So the market status to me is, and I've said it several times, is mildly entertaining. I don't really don't care what the market does. So this thing's built to perform in a bear market. It's gonna make people money and give people an option in a bear market. And for that, I'm confident. Once people approach Master Key and they understand the case uses and utilities that are launching live with it. I like to say, hey, the crypto space is like a toolbox. Well, every toolbox has got a damn hammer in it, and as long as people can understand that Master Key's the hammer that's in your portfolio, that's in your toolbox, that's going to be something you always want to have, because it can be that place you can always go when things really start to get ugly, and we're only going to excel when things are doing great.
Nice. Yeah, that was spoken like a builder for sure. So Well, no, I mean that's what it takes in this space, right? Is the people who are more concerned about putting their product out and creating their utilities and getting things to market than they are sitting there watching the chart and, yelling at callers to say their name kind of thing,
Oh,
Yeah, very.
absolutely, absolutely.
So I see you guys have I mean, it's a fair size ask. I think you're asking 800 B&B in the public. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the pre-sale will be 800. That's our hard cap. And really, I don't think that's going to be a problem, to be honest with you. So our whitelist slots, there's only 400 of them.
Okay.
400 total whitelists. Of course, we're exclusively pre-selling on Novation, the
Okay.
sell less contract there in Novation.
Hmm.
However, after our pre-sale, we'll have liquidity pools established on both Novation and Pancake, so we're going to be
Okay.
available everywhere.
Okay.
Um,
That would have been my next question. Cool. Right on.
so the kind of the cool thing about our whitelist slots, and I think we'll talk about it more as we get into the AMA. We've put, I guess you could say, a reward against the whitelist slot. So if you buy two B&B or more, you qualify for 1,000 BUSD prize. And if you buy three B&B or more, you qualify for two $1,000 BUSD prizes. So kind of putting a little stake on it. Now, if you think about it, only being 400, there's only 800 B&B, 5 B&B's a max buy. There's not going to be a very large pool, and we fully intend for this thing to sell out in seconds. And all indications are that's what's going to happen. So we're pretty excited about that.
Right on. Did you do anything? Did you do any private raises?
So we did do a private sale. I'll be honest with you, we sold right at 57, I think. 57 of my private sale slots. There's only 80. Put some pretty stern rules on my private sales. I'm
Okay.
not a big well guy. I don't like somebody being able to think that they can control the chart with a single move. So the max wallet size within Master Key is 3 trill. That's a max wallet size. That's a 5 B&B private sale purchase. I got about 24 or so, I believe, 23 or so that are still out there. Of course, the 20 of them I gave to the Novation platform to kind of use in their new program they're bringing up with their launch platform type promotion.
Hmm.
So, being that we've been in development since January 8th of this year and the complexities of the contract, when we launched private sales, we were probably about the 90% mark of development. So it wasn't hey, we was in a dire need for development funds. More so, can we do the right execution and moves during the marketing phase?
Right. Yeah. Well, marketing in the bear market is really, really tough stuff, and you have to be so careful with how you spend your dollars and that they're showing you some sort of a return because it's a minefield out here. So,
Oh, you're
um,
absolutely right, man.
what's the ratio? Like what percentage in the private sale? What advantage will they have compared to listing price? And is there any
So
vesting
so
on those schedules?
so private sales, they're vested for 6 months, right? 6 months out the gate at launch. Um, and now they're vested for 6 months, but they get full rewards upon launch. So the only restrictions are they can't sell, of course, and they can't transfer the tokens.
Okay.
Their addresses will be whitelisted to restrict those movements,
Okay.
which is, of course, everybody they sign the form, everybody in the private sale gets an in-depth brief in this, and they understand it. The rates of one BNB to 600 billion tokens. So they get 3 trill for a 5 BNB purchase, which the minimum and the max for each private sale slot is 5 BNB. It's
Okay.
5 regardless. That's minimum and max. So it's
Okay.
80. And as you can imagine, those are largely hand selected, vetted individuals. You're building your base, your platform of your platform. And
Yep.
I want to step further. So if they're a private sale holder, we've established inside Master Key what's called the VIP Advisory Council. And that kind of puzzles a lot of people. But with the way we do this, yeah, we have our core team discussions. But before the team slaps the table and makes a decision, we have that conversation, that real deep, in-depth conversation and Q&A process with our advisory council. We find out, hey, what's the community thinking? What are you guys thinking? Where are we at in this process? And really kind of take that pulse check to make sure the community's tied in with us every step of the way. The platform was built on 3 things, man: trust, truth, trust, and transparency. And
Right on.
I aim to have that every step of the way, and I think that's been very beneficial. we started out with 13 potential launch platforms, and really came down to the one. And a large in part that was a part of the advisory council and looking at the pros and cons. And you can't really look away from what Novation's been able to accomplish up to this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been watching them as well. They're quite interesting. We should probably tell a little bit of about what they are to the community, but they're a feeless launch pad / exchange, and they've got quite an interesting system going on. So that's cool.
They
Right
really
on.
do. Now with the whitelist, it's a 1 to 350 billion ratio, no tax. Tokens are live out the gate. Your typical,
Okay.
you can do what you want with them upon launch.
Okay.
And minimum buy is 1 BNB, max buy is 5. And there's, like I said, only 400 of those allocations. I think we got about 300, maybe just under 300 of those remaining. Of course, this is day one of our 30-day push before launch. We launching on the 10th of December. And with that, I want to kick your way, man. I'm giving you 7 whitelist slots to do with as you will on this platform. All I
Nice.
ask is that you close the loop with me with the appropriate ats and wallet addresses. So their Telegram and their wallet address. If they don't have a Telegram they give me the name and the wallet address. That just kind of helps me keep a track of it, and we keep pretty meticulous notes. So if something is nefarious or is not clicking in the system, I can reach out and say, hey, I need some clarification here. So, but 7 slots your way, man, to your community, however you want to use them. I'm bringing them today with me.
That is awesome, and it's smart that you do that, because you will get some shady characters who will try and buy up massive amounts of a project supply if you're not on top of that kind of stuff, and then they hold you hostage. So yeah, that's smart. Good stuff. So I go through all of your materials, and I can screen share a little bit here, but you talk about 5 utilities. I see up front and center, you've got your marketplace utility and then your soft staking utility. Can you tell us a little bit about those 2 to start with, and then maybe we can move into the other ones?
Okay, so I got 5 BUSD flows of revenue
Right.
off of the token and those 2 utilities. I have a third utility that's about it's pretty much done, but I won't launch it until 60 days after launch, and I really don't want to talk about it right now. As you know, in this space, a good dev can grab an idea and kick something out in 6 weeks. So I'm trying to fight that battle too. So
Oh, I
I'll keep a
understand
little
that
bit of
fully.
anonymity on that one. So, but I'm absolutely ready to talk about the first 2. So the first utility that's going to be live at launch is, of course, the marketplace itself. But it's not your typical marketplace, right? So one of the problems that we wanted to fix as part of Master Key Finance is, how do we put the power back into the holder's hands? Oftentimes when we become a holder, we become a victim in the same, as in we're tied to very minimum choices and very minimum possibilities, and kind of whatever that team or that contract code wants to do, with a whole lot of shoulder shrugging and hand throwing, with people not being able to kind of, they got more why questions instead of I want to choose this option. So how do we really put that power back into the holder's hands? Well, one thing we've noticed is, first and foremost, we see a lot of platforms competing for them against one another instead of working together and letting utilities compete for themselves. Well, the reason why they don't let utilities compete for themselves is the majority of passive income tokens are really running off a smoke and mirror method and have very little utility to kind of bring out. There's always promises, hey, we're going to do this or we're going to do that, or a timeline is never held to. So what could we bring forward? And then with our first utility, that being the marketplace, inside this marketplace, a holder is going to be able to say, hey, I want to sell this token, but I want to name my own price. I want to swap this token, and I want to name what I want for it. And hey, maybe this token's not performing, and I want to hold on to this token. And since I'm just going to hold on to it, I might as well get something for it in the process. Which brings up utility number 2.
Okay.
Utility number 2 is our soft.
One second. So, am I understanding? Is this like a peer-to-peer escrow situation on the marketplace when you talk about tokens that maybe aren't performing so well? It's kind of like Maybe you could dive a little bit more into that one there, because I'm struggling to wrap my brain on that one. So I go into your marketplace and I have 100 tokens that are worth $80, but I think they're worth $100. So how does that work out? Like, how do I make that transaction?
I'm going to explain that to you, but I'm going to bring the second utility in the process.
Sure.
So in the first utility, in your case, you bought $100 worth of token X. Token X is now worth $80, but you want your $100 back. Check or hold. That's kind of what you're saying, right? Mm-hmm. So you can go to the marketplace. You can put it on the marketplace and say, "Hey, I want $100 for this token X that is now worth 80." Now, who in their right mind would give $100 for a token worth $80? Nobody would. I mean, it's just not going to happen, right? So, how can you incentivize that purchase? So, two things got to take place here to keep it out of the escrow realm. Remember, I'm a 100% American-based organization here, so. I got to make Uncle Sugar happy in the same by regulation.
Yeah. I'm hearing you.
So when this token goes onto the platform and token X, you want $100 for token X, I'm going to facilitate that happening. The first thing that's going to happen is it's going to cost you 10 million master key tokens and a flat rate of 3 BNB to establish that post on the marketplace. Now, that 3 BNB is going to pay for the gas fees, of course, but it's also going to, a significant amount goes to the rewards wallet to go back to the holders. And the reason why it's 3 is I can't predict what the hell gas fee is going to be based on quantity, everything else that goes into that equation on what it's going to cost. It could be a nickel, it could be 55 cents, it could be $1.05. I don't know what that could be in that transactional process. Once that is established into the marketplace, I'm going to start rewarding that token with master key. That's the soft staking utility 2 principle. So I'm going to match you 1-to-1 on token X, not to exceed 10 million a day. And whatever that is, I'm going to cut it in half, and exactly half, I'm going to put a bounty against that token. So on day 1, you've made 10 million master key tokens, and 5 million has been established as a bounty against token X. On day 2, 20 million, 10 million. Day 3, 30 million, 15 million. You kind of see where I'm going?
Yeah. You must have your coder must be a busy man.
The contract is complex. There's a reason why it's been in development since 8 January. Now, over time, the bounty is going to get significant enough that people are going to look, those holders are going to look at the win-win on the bounty, and they're going to give the asking price on the token. At that time, whoever purchases that token for 100 BUSD gets the tokens, they get the bounty of master key, and the reward of master key gets transactions back to the posting wallet with the asking price of token X.
Wow, yeah, that's a completely different system, man. It's fairly complex. You're gonna have to explain that to users endlessly.
Endlessly. Now,
endlessly.
the other two functions are the same, right? The same if I wanted to swap. If I want to I got $100 with a token X. It's worth 80. I want $120 worth of token B. I post it in there. I put my asking price. The same principles happen in the soft staking process with the reward and the bounty. Sooner or later, that bounty is going to get high enough that transaction will happen. Now, at any time, the individual who posted that transaction can terminate the transaction. If they choose to terminate, they'll still incur the 10,000 master key pull out requirement, the $3 flat rate of BNB, and they will keep the master key rewards. However, the bounty gets sent back to the staking pool.
Do you have a flow map made up of your ecosystem that, like, on a graphic? I think that would be really helpful when it comes to.
So my graphics guy has been hard at work. We're actually trying to put together about a 30-second video that kind of shows all this with a voiceover. So I got them hard at work. Like I said, the team's rolling hard. That's the main reason why they're not on here with me today. I see you got the tokenomics up there that's kind of posted. There's a lot going on in this contract, right? So and then the soft staking principle, like I said, if you want to hold on to a token, you're not trying to get anything for it. It's the same principles to get it into the marketplace, and really, there's no bounty given against it. It's not for sale or trade, but we're just going to reward it with Master Key for however long you choose it in there. There's no staking penalties. If you want to stake for a day and pull it out the next day, man, I'm going to pay you for a day's worth of staking.
Right.
I'm not going to say you've got to be here for 30 days. I'm not going to give you no crazy APY. I mean, let's face it. Who's maintained the same amount of one token for over a year? Unless you lost your seed phrase or died, that population is very small. So that APY is smoke and mirrors anyway. So I'm telling you exactly what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give it to you, and you're going to have what I told you I was going to give you when you pull it out. I think that's fair across the board, and it's all the transparency that one could possibly need. Now, will this adjust over time? The plan is right now, no. But as the value of Master Key goes up, I think it's going to become a very, how would you say, fluid environment, if that makes sense.
Right. Okay. So a couple of things I see is, 20% transactional tax it can be a bit of a tough sell. That said, the 10% BUSD rewards are really attractive to investors. So how does that maintain itself in your systems in the long term? Because that's one of the concerns that I have when I look at reflective tokens that have such a high BUSD return. What makes that last? What's the appreciation that comes back into that?
Hey, that's a great question, right? So, of course, we have a buyback and burn function on buys and sells, right?
Yeah.
But I gotta go back to the utilities and the actual case use of the token. So that 10 million master key to put it in and 10 million to pull it out, that flat rate fee that's part of that 3 BNB, those 10 million master keys are burnt. They're burnt immediately. So every transaction in and out is burning 10 million master key, which is going to automatically increase the value of the token. The buyback and burn feature, the 1%, is also going to help deflate the token in itself. And now, again, I got to explain this marketplace, right? So when I say I establish a rewards bucket, excuse me, and a bounty bucket for a token X, you've got to look at that as two separate holders. Those rewards and that bounty are earning rewards. They're earning part of that 10% BUSD until that transaction is terminated and those tokens go to the buyer and the seller. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I'm with you. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Those
Go ahead.
all the master key tokens in the marketplace that are rewarded or bountied are going to be those rewards are collected into one rewards distributor daily. From that rewards distributor, if you're a flex reward qualifier, means you have over 500 billion master keys or more, you qualify for 25% to participate in 25% of that BUSD payout. All holders will get 10% of the BUSD payout. Are you with me on that?
That's paid out proportionally over 5 BNB. So if I held 7 BNB, I'd be slightly higher on that 25% of my take.
Well, it's based off of how many tokens do you have?
Yeah. So it's proportional. Cool. But it's proportional, but you have certain key limits like the 5 BNB. Okay, and that was one of my questions with the Flex, because I wasn't sure at first if Flex was another aspect of the ecosystem, but it is what I thought it was. It's if you have over a certain threshold, 5 BNB, then you're into the Flex rewards, which is an incentive to be holding a larger bag. So that makes sense to me. Cool.
And then of course the 10% qualifies as well.
That's right. Yeah.
That, and then I mean, like I said, everything that we do in Master Key, the holder has to be taken care of first. I mean, hell, when our merchandise line launches 60 days after launch, 75% of the gross revenue that's made from the merchandise, the profit, goes back into the rewards wallet to be distributed to holders. Everything that we do is putting the holders first. I have a firm belief that if holders are put in front, up front, and are constantly taken care of first, the holders will take care of the platform. It'll make the platform powerful. But greed oftentimes kills some of the best ideas out here. Someone in the team gets greedy or nefarious. They do something that's that kills the trust of a platform, and a good platform will fall because of one or two bad actors.
Oh,
So
I know.
really,
It's a tragedy.
really trying to take care of one. It's very tragic, man. It just is terrible.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of security checkpoints and processes to really keep ourselves honest. I want to be here for, not 1 or 2 months, man, but I'm looking at 1 or 2, 3 years into the future. Our stuff is launching with Web 2 and 3 interface, ready to flip that switch if we have to.
Nice.
But I mean, that's kind of what it comes down to. Is you got to be prepared to do that.
Right on. So the pardon me, the marketing and dev, is there any particular reason you didn't separate those head to the same wallets, that 7%?
No, man. There's so many things going on in that process, and there's team in there too. So there's
Okay.
part of the team percent too. So no,
Okay.
I think there's 3 marketing wallets, 4 dev wallets, and with my master my master key VIP advisory council, I've already shot them wallet addresses, so they can see every transaction, they can see money moving right now. Everything will
Yep.
be on the blockchain. Nothing's going to be hidden, and we're ready to explain every transaction that's out there. So, but you got to understand the development piece behind this. I think we're dealing with 9 contracts right now that are talking in unison throughout the utility process.
And the more I looked over your systems, I was kind of counting on my hands how many different contracts you would need to accomplish a lot of this stuff, and to have them all working in unison is, it's a fairly complex system.
I've
So
got 4 rewards distributors right now. I mean, it's pretty complex. It really
yeah.
is.
Yeah, you've definitely put the work in. I've been in your group since about 300 members, but I've just been kind of lurky and watching. So it's nice to see you've come so far, because I've been in there for a long time.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Yeah. Pardon me. So what was my next question here? You answered my next question in your previous statement, so I'm just catching up here. We've got the Novation LP. We've explained the Flex stuff. We've gone through the peer-to-peer stuff. All right. So the team tokens at 3%, you're never going to sell them. So you're just going to burn them, or why did you bother putting them into your ecosystem if there's no function for them?
No, 30. So I won't allow anybody on my core team to participate in the private sales or the whitelist sales. So
Okay.
to be honest with you, those 30 trillion, they're coded to never be able to be transferred or sold, but they will receive rewards. So that's
I
really
see.
kind of how
Okay.
we're going to fund the system, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with it now. All right. I just when I first saw that, I was, I mean,
It's a little different.
Yeah, I'm in a similar position. We broke out team tokens, and we don't ever plan on using them. And I look back and wonder why I've even bothered. Right on.
Yep.
So we have, where did that go? There was one other thing that I really wanted to touch on here. Let me shrink that down. Where did you go? I like how you have your master path set up, and I really like the vernacular that you've chosen for this project. It's cool.
So I appreciate that, and I'll pass that along to the team. I know we're doing a complete UI workover right now. Like I said, 2 of my members are deep into that right now. We're going to rock the world, come about a week out from launch. So
right on.
Put a lot of effort into that, kind of trying to stay current with the times. You got to appeal to the 18-year-old using daddy's money all the way up to the 50-year-old that's looking to retire, right? So how do you cover that widespread and be successful at it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it can be tricky trying to appeal to all the different audiences in here. Yeah, I really like what you've put together. I think some very simplistic video explanations that you're working on. You okay?
That's not me. I don't know who that is.
Oh, okay. Who's coughing there? Can you mute your mic, please?
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Welcome to the AMA, man.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, where was I headed there?
You're talking about the UI.
Yeah, and just the vernacular you used in here, it's got some interesting terminologies, but I really think that yeah, that's where I was heading. Is the explanatory video with the little walk me throughs will be really helpful here because with so many contracts and so much stuff going on, when you go over it at first, I read this multiple times, gaining understanding, and it's well written. It's just a lot of information. So if it can be broken down in a way that is really uh, I like to say, explain things to me like I'm in grade 3. You know what I mean? Um,
Absolutely, absolutely. And you get,
yeah.
you got the members that I could tell them, hey, I got 100 meters of fence, and they're happy. And then I got those that are going to want to know, what's the BOM, how was it built, what's it designed for, why was it built, where was it built. That's going to ask me what was the age of the lumber used on the fence. So they want that deep dive, right? So how do you find that middle ground?
Yeah, no, for real. It's I deal with it in my business as well. There's different ways to approach different people. If I'm dealing with an older client or a younger client, what they want and how I approach them are quite different, and that's just a result of getting a feel for people and how they think and they operate in that where they are in their lives. So um,
Well, and
yeah,
like I said earlier, right? We want to be that option that we're not a Kex, we're not a Dex, we're never going to be able to compete at that level. But if you were to really try to, are you going to be able to double your money? That would be a hard sell using this program. Are you going to be able to make up a loss? Quite possibly.
yeah,
We're going to showcase on the marketplace. If you're looking for what the highest bounty is out there, it's going to be showcased, right? If you're looking for a certain type of token, if you're like going in to buy, hey, is there any token X out there? And you submit the token X contract address into the search bar, it's going to show you every one of them that's listed and what the current bounty rate is and what the current asking price is for that token. So
mhm,
it's going to be really user friendly. I think it's gonna we'll have a tutorial that'll talk you through how to do everything. And then one thing I do want to talk about
okay.
is the transfer tax versus no transfer tax processes. I don't control that. And that's one thing that I want everybody to understand. I can't control what a contractual code from another contract is
Uh,
doing.
I see where you're
Does
going.
this
You're
make
talking about
sense?
when you get into the peer-to-peer stuff, and I say, okay, I have $80 worth of tokens that I bought for $100, and I list them, and then I go to send those
Yes.
tokens, and I get dinged, and the end
Yes.
user gets dinged. Yeah, I see where you're going. I don't know
Yes.
how you would
So you're
ever
looking
get
at
around
two
that.
transactions throughout the process. Now,
Right.
I am in talks right now with platforms based off of, and in the future, based off what the VIP Advisory Council brings to me. I'm talking to a lot of CEOs, a lot of good performers in this in this project. So I'm going to use one as an example. I've been talking to the CEO quite extensively. I'm going to talk about Vault. So Vault currently
Okay.
doesn't have a transfer tax. So as far as charging the transfer tax would hurt the holder, a non-transfer tax would hurt the platform. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yep.
So I got to get into the negotiations with these platforms. First and foremost, I cannot hurt another platform, and I do not want to hurt holders. So how do I come into a commonality with these platforms where they're still getting something that's making them happy, but the holders were taken care of first? It's still got to be a good deal for the holder. So let's say hypothetically token X's sell tax or buy tax was 10%. Well, to use my platform, I'm probably going to go to negotiations with that contract of token X and say, hey, I want you to only have a 5% transfer tax with me. I understand you don't have a transfer tax right now, but you're going to do a 5% transfer tax with me, and here's why. Because at the end of the day, they're going to get their 10% buy or sell. Does that make sense?
Yep.
When the
Uh,
transaction's completed, 5% in, 5% out, they're still going to get their 10%.
that's for
However,
contracts that can adapt, though.
no, because I can put that in my whitelist code.
Oh, I see. Right. Yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
It's
Yep.
written that way so that now the holder that's posting token X is only getting charged 5% on a potential 10% sell loss. and the buyer is only getting charged 5% on a potential 10% buy charge. So they're each getting 5, but in that one transaction, the platform's still getting 10.
Right. And that goes back to support the
and
rest of the systems. So that's good. Yeah.
Exactly. It supports the rest of the system. Now, are there going to be platforms that don't want to come to the table and talk? Yeah, sure they are. Are they going to want to talk after 2 or 3 months of me being live? You bet your ass they're going to want to, because it's going to only hurt their platform not to. But they're going to have to sit down and have that conversation so that we can. I will not make a decision without having a conversation with that CEO of that platform on, hey, what do you want to do? Because first and foremost, this is not going to be a damn good deal for you, and it's not going to be a damn good deal for me. First and foremost, it will be a damn good deal for the holder, and then we will make the best deal possible for you and I. So as long as they're willing to follow those principles, which they're, like, again, I'm going to have to say they're going to have to, or it's only going to hurt their program and their platform, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Okay. So you have merch. I don't know why I didn't see that in the.
It's not out there yet, so I've only been
Okay.
talking about it for about a week now. So the plan is, and I got one of my guys working hard on it. We're trying to partner with another veteran who's got a kind of a product line, but really trying to helping him get his outfit set up so that somebody can buy on the website utilizing cryptocurrency, maybe even Master Key directly to purchase the merchandise. Trying to give as much real case use to Master Key as we possibly can.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're creating your own merch store that'll be attached to your marketplace, I guess.
Well, to the website. So
To
the
the website.
marketplace will be accessible from the website,
Okay.
and really the merch store will be accessible from the website. A dashboard will be on the website. Evolution QR will be on the website. I don't know if I mentioned that yet. So as we get into the marketing discussion, I'll bring that one up.
Okay. I guess that for me, and we touched on it briefly, we'll avoid certain key words, but the elephant in the room here, given a system like that, is your location in the U.S. and the potential issues with regulations.
Absolutely.
Where do you see yourself with that?
Absolutely. Oh, that's a good question. All right. So there's a reason why I'm launching on the 10th of December. And a lot of it had to wrap. I don't like to talk politics when it comes to crypto, but the fact of the matter is, one really can't do much without the other. That's kind of where we're at right now.
Okay.
And with the United States' midterm elections that just took place here about 2 days ago, in anticipation on a split party House and Senate, which all indications are it will happen, is a good thing for the crypto space. As long as the parties can't agree, regulation's not going to be established, right? So the only regulation by and large
I see where you're going. Sorry, that's
the only regulation by and large that's out there is for stable coins. You know, your major platforms, your Coinbase, your Solana. You pick one, Avalanche. They're going after those guys right now. Do I think they're going to dabble into the DeFi space? Absolutely, in a period of some time. But I think we're going to have a gridlock DC. And the reason I picked 10 December is I kind of watching the markets and talking to my team, and my COO is really good at this stuff and kind of doing data analysis and marketing analysis and whatnot. If by an off chance the Republican Party happened to pull both the House and the Senate, I think this bull run's going to take off right around the 15th, 20th of December, because everybody's going to be happy. Republicans, by and large, don't like to regulate anything. A lot of reasons why we picked a red state in the state of South Carolina, who's already passed it through their House. They will not establish regulations on cryptocurrencies. That's why our LLC is established there. A lot of preparing. Now, we are an established LLC. We are not going to hide. There are gaps and loopholes in the regulations. You could drive a damn transfer truck through and really get away with about anything you wanted to get away with. The fact of the matter is, we don't want to. We're going to pay our taxes. We're going to do everything the right way. The core team will be paid via 1099. Everything will be documented, done the right way. So when that discussion gets ready to be had, We are postured. We've had our lawyers look at everything. The CPAs have been involved. They're in tune with what's going on with current established regulation, or, and I'm gonna use air quotations here, what people think is regulation, and really watching what is there, and if it applied to us, would we be postured in the right position? And we are. So I'm confident in that. And ready to have that conversation. So when they call, I'm not running. I'm not hiding. I'm not doing offshore accounts, moving money off 4 or 5 different islands, or transferring it through 6 or 7 different stable coins to try to hide from the government. I'm not doing that. I'm ready to have a seat at the table to have that hard conversation, because at the end of the day, I'd rather have a say so in what's on the food being ordered, and just instead of just having shit shoved in front of me that I've got to eat regardless. So I'd rather have a seat at the table and have that discussion in order to be, instead of being told what to do. So
Yeah.
I think being postured for that conversation is the best way to go.
I 100% agree, and I have to say I've heard a lot of different strategies in crypto, but that's the first time I've heard one based around elections or midterm elections. So that's pretty interesting stuff. But you make
Well,
a
kind
good
of
point.
guessed it would be a
If there's no
runoff.
House and no Senate, nothing's happening. So that's smart.
Exactly. So, and I'll be honest with you, we kind of anticipated a runoff, although we didn't think it would be the state of Georgia. But we knew the runoff period would have to be done before 1 January. Most runoffs are at the end of November through the middle of December. So we kind of rolled the dice on this. We said, hey, we'll go with 10 December. Hey, all indication, we already know Georgia's going to be a runoff for here in the United States. So if for somehow the Republicans pull that horseshoe out of their butt and they land another state, Georgia will decide whether or not the Republicans have both the House and the Senate. And if that is the case, I think that bull run is going to take off with a fury. And if not, I think we're looking at probably late March, early April before that bull decides to wake up. But regardless, like I said, the market conditions, I stated earlier, mildly entertaining to me. When people see what we got and they see the case use that we're bringing forward, they're going to want to be involved anyway. And it's built in a bear market to perform in a bear market, and that's really, I keep harping on it, and I keep saying that because that is the truth behind the secret sauce is you can't only be able to run whenever it's 75 degrees and sunny. You got to be able to run whenever there's a lightning storm, it's the middle of the night, and you're in the woods. That's if you can do that successfully, it's easy to perform whenever it's beautiful outside.
Right on. Awesome. Well, um, I think we're getting to the point now where we'll probably head into some questions. I don't know if there's any questions in the chat or the anonymous bot yet, but is there maybe before we head into that, is there anything that we've missed in this AMA that you really want to highlight and focus on before we move on to the final stages?
Hey, so our whitelist giveaways, if you're not one of the lucky 7 here with Ninja Platform, I'd ask that you kind of jump on over to our Telegram, check us out, ask those questions. Hey, there's a lot of the VIP councils are in there. I haven't tagged them. There's a lot of anonymity there. I don't. Some may want to know. Some don't even join the platform. They want to keep themselves kind of anonymous. But there's plenty of people there answering questions. I got a firm, strong mod team that's willing to answer your questions and kind of point you in the right direction. The core team tries to always kind of within an hour or so be on the platform and kind of answer questions. And if you're one of the lucky ones and you find yourself in that private cell kind of era, somebody in the core team's on there 24/7. So that is monitored 24/7 to have those deep conversations, because we understand this is a global operation, right? So being able to talk globally at all times, we kind of rotate through. Hey, I got this night, whatever the case may be. But we got a constant presence on our socials. Give our Discord a little bit of love. It's kind of new. We're getting ready to really do some great things with the Discord. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter. We're on all the socials. Kind of come and share our story, see where we're going, kind of get some sneak peeks and what would when we start to reveal utility number 3, and as things progress towards pre-sale, this thing's really going to get out of control, and we're excited about it. So we're looking forward to it. We've prepped ourselves. We gave ourselves plenty of leeway. Been in development since the 8th of January. Done with development since about the end of October. Full test mode through the month of November. I think we're in a good place, and I would ask that come check us out. See, if you like us, hang out. If you think we're full of crap, take a walk. That's fine. You'll come back later. I ain't gonna worry about that.
Right on. Well, I mean, you've been building hard. As I said, I've been in your group a long time. I think there was maybe 200 or 300 members in there when I joined, and I'm just kind of lurky sometimes. But what you've built has been consistent and complex. I mean, you've really put the hours into conceptualization. Never mind building, just conceptualizing this and then confirming that it can be written, and then actually bringing it to market is a huge challenge. So it's an accomplishment. So congratulations
Oh
to
man,
you, and
we're excited
I
about
wish
it.
you the
We really
best.
are.
Right on.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So on that note, are there any questions?
Hey
Hey,
Ed.
buddy.
Yes, I do. I do have to add something. So Jay, yeah, welcome to the Ninja Lounge. Great presentation. I do really love your energy and the way that you pitch present. Keep it up. So in regards of the team tokens, that's really smart. I have seen it with few other projects, and I think this will be the way to move forward when it comes to the reward tokens as well. That there are attached, a certain percentage from the tax to the reward one. So are these though are these tokens allocated to the team, or are these like in a reserve pool and you pay the team? And you can use as well these rewards for other purposes, for other expenses or anything like that?
You're talking about the 30 trillion?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So 30 trillion really are kind of broke up for the main paycheck for the team, if you will. For that purpose, what you're speaking of, for kind of what we're doing and what we're maneuvering. Yeah, we have our marketing, we have our development kind of pulling their own income, if you will. But we've also got 20, or I'm sorry, it was 20, but 17 trillion future hire tokens. They're also earmarked in the tokenomics. So those could be sold. However, I won't sell. But the income from that 17 trillion is used for additional hires or maybe an incentive for a major influencer or whatever the case may be. For instance, it was originally 20 trillion. I have taken 3 trillion and pretty much gave it away as a rewards protocol to be used by Evolution QR. I don't know if you all are familiar with Evolution QR, but Evolution QR will be live with us here at Master Key Finance within 12 hours of launch. And just kind of the nitty gritty behind Evolution QR. If you go through our website, which will point you to Evolution QR's buy DApp, which is going to buy through Novation, they're going to offer you a QR code. If you're given this QR code and you use it and you give it that QR code to a friend, and that friend uses that QR code to navigate their way back to Evolution QR to buy, I'm going to pay you for doing that. In the marketing, I don't know. There's a lot of no ROI, right? A return on investment. You write a $1,500 check to an influencer, and they might tweet about you 2 or 3 times and send 80% bots your way, or whatever the case may be. So the best form of marketing that could possibly be established is word of mouth, right? The people on the platform is bringing real investors to you, but we don't reward them for doing that. They might tweet 20 times, whatever the case may be. But if I'm giving you a QR code and you're going out there to your aunt, your uncle, your brother, your significant other, and they go in and say, you know what, I'll buy $100 worth, whatever the case may be, and use your QR code to do so, I am going to give you a percentage of that 3 trillion that I've already gave up to you for doing so. So there's going to be a rewards process for internal shilling, if you will, as long as it leads to a no kidding, a granular buy or a purchase from a real investor, you'll get rewarded for that. I think that's pretty
Yeah.
significant. And
Yeah.
really, the platform takes that hit.
I'm well aware of Evolution QR, and I think that their marketing systems have a high likelihood of being very successful. I like what they're putting together.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. This approach will be like something that will be implemented like with like most of the projects out there
I think
sooner or
so.
later.
Yeah.
But yeah, sounds
Absolutely.
good. And yeah, another question, Jay, like, what is your why? What is your why with this project? And what do you want to achieve? What is your vision?
My vision is it's Master Key, right? And we come up with that name. I often get asked that question, why Master Key? A couple of us sitting around drinking bourbon, talking at night. A project that can fix other projects' problems, but unlock the possibilities, right? How do you unlock the possibilities of what a holder can do? We limit the holder through contract codes and platform and greed, but what if we really unlock that? And what can unlock anything? That's master key. So as long as there's a problem that the holder is facing in the crypto DeFi space, if we can somehow figure out how to crack that code to put the power back into the holder's hands, we're going to be a viable choice to go to, and we're going to have longevity in this space.
Right on. Yeah, I'm covered. I don't have any other questions. Keep it up, Jay. I really like your energy, man.
Appreciate you, buddy. Hey, thanks, man.
Right on. So do we have if anybody wants to put their hand up in the chat here or write any questions before we move on to the prize stuff and ask Jay here for his final call to action?
I have unmuted Pedro.
Pedro, what's up, buddy? I don't see him.
Pedro, you are unmuted. You can ask your question.
Yeah. For long-term perspectives, I love the fact that you guys are set up in a way that it's whether it's a bull market or a bear market, right? I think that's brilliant, right? The way you're establishing your business and how it's going. And without giving away, the goods here, what other things do you guys plan on building a type of marketplace for this, or some type of system that's really going to be able to broaden, because somebody could mass produce what you're doing, right, and copy you, and then you would have competitors there. So are you planning on producing new things into the future that would set you apart even more so?
Absolutely. So we constantly, I got a lead dev, and he's one of the best. My devs, he's the devs are a special kind of breed of people. But he's above that, right? He can watch a movie through code. I mean, he's just phenomenal. And I constantly keep bringing new ideas. And basically, in the world of development, if you can think it, it can happen. You just got to figure out how to get there. And I think I got one of the best devs to be able to do that. As far as staying relevant, yes. Sooner or later, somebody's going to figure out this cross-chain functionality. And I'm in deep talks right now. I don't want to, kind of give it all away, but we're in deep talks right now. I think that code is going to be broke very soon, and Master Key Finance is in the front seat right now to be a part of that initial package, to be that cross-chain and one-click functionality that's really going to open this thing up. And really, that's kind of where half of my dev team's at, is if that's a possibility, are we postured to be able to be successful? And really, that's kind of one sneak peek. I kind of slipped it a little bit. We're going to be Web3 compatible with the flip of a switch if need be. I do think Web3 is coming. That's going to happen. That's the way of the future. Man, it's one thing I love about crypto, right? It is so daggum exciting. There is so much happening. It's constantly a very fluid place. And it's never a dull day. If you're having a dull day in crypto, man, you're I don't know what you're looking at. I have no idea. Yesterday was a fist fight. If you all watch the market, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
It's just a constant, very fluid environment.
Yeah, I love it. Last week we were going sideways a bit, and I'm sitting there and I was watching all the sellers starting to step in, and I'm like, are they going to drop the market here? And I'm sitting there and I do a thing in the morning. I haven't been doing it lately just because I want to make sure I form my people well. So I'm kind of waiting to see kind of how things settle. But it was so interesting yesterday to see just the top dogs fighting it out, or all just the I don't know what to call it, geopolitical, but
chaos.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, chaos leads to bad decisions, and bad decisions lead to big mistakes. I mean, I'm sure you all are tracking that one wallet that inadvertently burnt 84,500,000 BUSD on accident. They converted it quick and sent it to the wrong wallet. I mean,
yes.
I'm sure somebody started a pistol over that, but that's terrible. But that was a brash decision made out of emotion and not passion that led to a bad result. And until people start really pumping the brakes and looking at things and saying, hey, what's going on here? But people get wrapped up in the, I don't know what you want to call it, the soap opera of crypto, and really start managing it from a professional standpoint. These problems are going to continue to exist.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, and that's what I'm definitely looking at your project. I just discovered you. I'm kind of mad at Ed that he didn't tell me about you earlier, but that's besides the point.
I hope you forgive me. I'm sorry.
So like I said, we've been in development since January, but we flew under the radar for a long time, and we did that intentionally. Like I said, like you said, somebody could copy this and try to get something else out on the market. The fact of the matter is, I've got a damn good dev team. And as long as it took them to figure this out and put it together, for somebody to come out the gate swinging and be able to generate this quickly I'd be leery of it, because there's a lot of things that could go wrong, and you're always trying to fight that bad actor, right? So being that we all kind of have a veteran mindset, we all try to find, we interrogate and try to exploit the contract as much as we possibly can before we even get to the testing phase. And now that we're nearing the end of the testing phase, we're really just working on UI concepts right now. We're pretty motivated. I think we're going to be in a good spot, and I'm glad you joined and you're following us. I'd ask that you get involved with the conversations. Ask the hard questions, man. Somebody there is going to answer it.
All right, thanks, man. I appreciate that. And also, I'm looking forward to. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ed.
It's all good, brother. It's all good. I was just going to say I think at this stage, even somebody with a bigger bankroll and a full dev team is going to have a hard time front running you. There's a lot of complexity to this. As I was saying, in the conceptualization aspect of it alone, there's a lot of work that's gone into this before you started building anything, and it's obvious. So, you're keeping some stuff under wraps, and I understand that, because that's the danger in the space. You come up with an idea, and then somebody else just blasts it out there and does a poor execution of a wonderful idea, and it's really frustrating. So I understand why you would keep some of that stuff under your hat. I think
it will take them time, just to add something on that, because it's a really good point. It will take them time, and then at the same time, like Jay and the rest of the team, they do have already some partnerships and connections that are helping to boost that, which the other people that might come on board and try to copy that might not have the same people around them. So it's not only the contract exclusively and the devs, but it's all about having the right people around you.
The relationships and business relationships.
Yeah, and of course, they're building out of love at this stage. They're invested, and whoever decides to try and copy it is doing it as a cash grab, and it'll come out in the wash in the end.
100%.
Absolutely.
Right on. So, Jade, you got I think you've had a couple already, but you got a call to action. We got the whitelist going on. We got people need to join your socials, check out your Discords, and pay attention for launch and pre-sales and all that good stuff. But what do you want to say as a closer here, man?
Absolutely. So, hey, whitelists are going on. Like I said, it's our 30-day push. This is we started our 30-day push yesterday. We want to complete with the whitelist allocations by 9 December. Really hype up that launch on Novation on that buy less contract. I think it's going to be a phenomenal show. I'm going to give the first 200 about 2 to 3 seconds, and I'm going to release the second 200. We'll watch the fireworks, and however long it takes for the devs to kind of figure that out and shuffle those numbers around within about 4 hours or so, we're going to try to launch this thing. And like I said, in a bear market, this thing's going to perform. And in a bull market, we're going to blow the roof off the damn house. It's going to be a light show. It's going to be something to see. It's going to be something I believe everybody's going to want to be a part of. And it really is going to go to great lengths and great things. I'd ask that you follow our socials. If you're interested in a whitelist slot, hey, get on over to our Telegram page. It's kind of exclusively where we're handling those giveaways. There's little competitions going on. So if you want to get in there and take your hand, it's everything from word scramble to a math problem to guess a number. We're trying to make it fun, have a good time with it, and we're building that whitelist list to kind of kick it over and get it ready for the devs to upload. So you can't win any of the money unless you're part of that platform, and it's a pretty good rate. One BNB to 350,000, no tax. And it's going to be a very sought after item. So get on over there. Let's have fun with it. That's what it's all about. Let's have fun. Do your own research. Make sure that your T's are crossed, your I's are dotted. You don't do something you can't afford to do, and let's have a good time.
Right on, man. I got to say, I've really enjoyed this AMA. You're well spoken, you're passionate, you're organized. I wish you the best, and I hope to see you successful for many years to come.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it.
Right on. So I think I'm gonna stop the recording now, and then we'll head into the fun prizey aspect of things, if that works for you guys.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna stick around and watch, but please take notes, man. I'm in the truck.
Right on. You got it.